Thanks, Andrew, for joining us today. Today we're going to be talking about migration and cloud migration. Can you tell me how BP3 approaches migration, version-to-version migration? Let's start there.
So this is one of our earliest offerings out of our labs group, was version-to-version migration. We identified it as a problem in the field because the expertise needed to do the migration are different from the expertise required to deliver a process. And yet people were asking the process people to try to figure out the migration problem for them. So we concentrated on this. By doing that concentration, we have now been able to deliver over 100 different customer environment migrations, all of them at a fixed priced offers.
That's an insane number to begin with. 100 different version-to-version migrations?
That's correct. We have invested in the tooling and the expertise in our team to make sure that that is something that we can do very rapidly. We've seen all the different issues that can be encountered and know what mitigation can be put in place to avoid problems.
Okay, so now we're entering the world of cloud. What's the difference? Are there nuances in a cloud migration versus just a regular version-to-version migration?
The biggest difference between a version-to-version migration and a cloud migration is that there's certain options that are pretty much off the table because you have an on-premise system and a cloud system and not a way to move the data automatically from one to the other. So we're talking about the type of migration that we have traditionally done on site as a federated migration. That is a migration where you have two different BPM instances. You put a portal in front of them that serves all the users their tasks in one place so they don't have to understand the nuances of which system is running which processes, and allows you to slowly migrate over time. There's additional blocking and tackling that we have had to do in order to implement that and make it relatively seamless for the end users, but we see the upside for customers moving to cloud and want to do everything we can to enable that migration.
I assume that blocking and tackling is around things like user management and login credentials and things like that.
Not only that, but also around the portal experience itself. Before we invested in the Browser's portal release that supports federation with your cloud and on-prem BPM environments, there was no offering in the ecosystem that allowed you to have one portal for tasks that end users can interact with that could encapsulate both the on-premise tasks and your cloud-based tasks.
Well, that's really exciting. I guess we'll be looking at 200 migrations by next year?
Easily.
Thanks again for joining us.
You're welcome.